Hello, the Greatest You Revolution group and people. This is so amazing. We're going live. Yep, there we are. Just want to make sure that we're connected. We're connected. Okay. So today is Monday. Lori and I, Lori Montree and Mia Signs, I'm Mia Signs, we have the Greatest You Academy. We brought our personal development, our self-love work, our spiritual work, since I'm a spiritual teacher. Lori is a eating psychology coach. She helps people understand the emotions around food. I'm also a business strategist for the last 35 years. My first company was when I was 18 with my husband. We started a frozen food company. So there isn't much that we can't help you with in the Academy, but the Academy is structured for the foundation of people to grow. And not just for the foundation, we have mastery work in here too. And this is one thing that I really want you all to understand, is there's a lot going on for you. Somebody just wrote me, it's hard to read the chats and beyond. I disappeared, but I'm here. Okay, all right, that's fine. Okay, everyone. So this is important. So when you were little or as you're growing, you have things you're supposed to do, right? You brush your teeth, you get up, maybe you do your prayers in the morning, at night, and then as you get older, you forget your stuff. Throughout the interpersonal development work and your spiritual work or your business work or whatever it is that is most dearest to you, it's about being aware all the time. There's a beautiful quote that Lori and I love that says, "What you are seeking is seeking you," and it's by Rumi. And so we go back to whether it's that type of thought, whether it's the law of attraction, whether it's pure science that we're setting new neural pathways as we create new experiences and development within ourselves. It has to be mostly developmental issues because synapses are born from a lightning flash that takes place, and things have to be done on repeat in order to become proficient. Any basketball player, ballerina, drummer, they had to practice their entire life to do the phenomenal work that they do, to bring art even, right, to what they do, the fantastic movements, and then the money that they get paid. So however you want to look at it, it's really profound to do your work. I used to be chronically ill for years. We have many people that follow our work who are chronically ill. And it's about what I found with myself when I jumped from literally dying in 2008. Doctors gave me 2 years to live. They said, "Your organs are closing." I'd been in a wheelchair for years since I had an accident where I was hit on the head. Life literally changed in 2008 for me. And so I became a coach. I wanted to support others. I thought if I could just help one person, I've done my job. Well, almost 14 years later, there's thousands and thousands that have come through the work. And so it's really beautiful to understand that you guys have the ability to shift and change your life. So what I'm going to share with you, what I recommend as a teacher to profoundly change your life. When you wake up, we used to call it self-love work. It's now more in the mainframe of self-development, but it's also self-love work when you look at it. So there's two hands. There's more of the analytical side, you'd say interpersonal development, and then there's more of the nurturing of who you are, the self-love work. We always must have our body, mind, and spirit activated. Do you guys understand the power of that? When your body is in movement and healing, and your mind, your emotional state of being also is in charge, and your spiritual awareness is, there's nothing that can stop you. Most people say, well, when I get my body working, I can do the other. Or when I get my mental working, I can go work out, I can do this. It starts within our own brain, our own area. Isn't that amazing that we have a mind that even if we can't move, or while we're sleeping and we wake up and we lie in bed, we can do work that recorrects our thinking, that takes out the chaos, the fear, the anxiety, the space that I am always sick, or I am unwell, or there's too much trauma, there's too much drama, there's not enough love, there's not enough balance, there's not enough happiness, there's not enough joy. What are you telling the universe, right? So be aware of your thinking. So in the morning, I recommend to my clients, literally, when you open your eyes, you practice smiling. Smiling sends endorphins to your brain. These are to get us going. You can also grab a journal and write 5 things that you're grateful for. This is about opening yourself up to a higher force. Gratitude writing and journaling is a way in which to get there. Gratitude is the conduit to healing, health, wealth, happiness, the divine, literally. Gratitude is the divine. And so when your feet hit the floor, you already want to be in a different state of mind as you're going to the bathroom to do whatever you need to do. Also, in those first 15 minutes of the morning, if you haven't been doing your mirror work, we teach the mirror work. I've been teaching it for years. It's profoundly changed people's lives. Most people can't look at themselves in the mirror. They struggle. They want to disconnect. They can't say, I love you, because they struggle with that. And that is okay. It's okay. And you can get there. The way we go about creating our life, creating our space, is through happiness and joy. If you're telling yourself off in the morning, you're going to tell yourself off in the afternoon, you're going to tell yourself off in the evening, and you're going to be a miserable person. Within the first 2 hours of waking, it's stated by surveys and statistics and stuff, excuse me, that we tell ourselves off over 17 times. 17 times. That's a lot. Until we don't. Until we learn that we are fabulous, amazing, great, until we fall in love with ourselves. Most people say, what are you talking about? Who could do that? I know you're here, so you understand it, because otherwise you wouldn't be on my email list. You wouldn't be following me on Facebook. You wouldn't be in the Greatest You Revolution or the Self-Love Revolution. At some point, I will be closing down the Self-Love Revolution, so I do recommend people come on over into the Greatest You on Facebook. We'd love to have you there. So the mirror work is profound because it literally will connect you to you. You look at yourself in your mirror, and what you're looking at is my wrinkles, my gray hair, my this, my that. You're not looking at, wow, my eyes are sparkling today. Look at that smile. Believe me, guys, it does come with the work. But along the way, we find these little things that we work through, right? They come up. I have found with teaching the mirror work, and I teach all of this interpersonal development work, Lori and I both do, in our relationship courses as well as in working with individuals. Relationship courses for friendship, relationship courses for intimacy, divine connection, all types of stuff comes with doing the interpersonal work. So when you're looking in the mirror and you say, I love you, you don't have to say your name, because your soul, we have a soul, we're amazing like that. We've incarnated many times, and we don't want to distract ourselves. We're talking to our soul essence. This is the fastest way I have found that we understand our soul. We connect to our soul is through the mirror work. When I first discovered this, you can't imagine like the fireworks, the rockets exploding out of me going, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It was probably about I think probably about 12 or maybe 13 years ago, I saw massive change, not just in myself, but in my clients. And so that's why I want you to understand your greatness of who you are. So it's important to lay your foundation in the morning. Why? Because the chaos of the day, and you haven't worked on removing your chaos, unless you have, but the chaos of the day comes in and it just perpetuates. You get in your car, you go to work, if that's what you do, and you are irritated with people on the freeway, and they're irritated with you. And then you get to the office, and that's another thing right there. Somebody's out of alignment, they're irritated, they're mad. It sets the tone for the office. When you do your work, this stuff doesn't bother you. You see it as somebody angry, upset, and you eventually, as you do your interpersonal work, you understand they're dealing with their emotional shit and they haven't done the work. It's not a shame, blame, nothing. It's an awareness, an observation, so you can move through life smoother. So do you think that your foundation work stops in the morning? It doesn't. Your foundation work is also at nighttime when you go to sleep. When you're getting ready for bed, a lot of people grew up saying prayers on the end of their bed or on the side of their bed or somewhere, talking to God, or at least you thought you were talking to God, right? So why'd you stop? Got in relationships, got married, had children, life got busy. Why'd you stop? We clear our consciousness, our awareness, we meditate so that we can remove the chaos from the day. We can be in our highest state of being. And I suggest there is, I have CDs that came out in 2014 and 2016. And the one from 2014 used to be called Spirit Life, and now it's called Foundations of the Inner Child. And on there, besides the inner child meditation, on there is restful intentions. So I'm going to go through it with you. Not as a process, but telling you how it works so you can do it yourself. As you're quietly still, whether you're in a chair, whether you're in bed, whatever, you start to meditate and you're clearing away all the junk. People struggle with meditation. Sometimes you'll want to go through a guided meditation so that you're elevating with them, or listen to soundscape like rain or a river to calm you, to open you up to something different. As you prepare yourself for bed, you're recognizing and declaring that you are going to sleep for a full night's rest. You can tell yourself when you're going to wake up. Does this work? Holy goodness, it works. You train yourself to wake up like a minute before your alarm clock. You train yourself to be happy. We are setting new neural pathways. We are setting new patterns. If you were not taught calmness, joy, harmony, peace, bring it in yourself to instill you. Whatever you're doing the next day, continue your meditational process, your energetic process into the next day. How does that look for you? You wake up, you're smiling, you're doing your gratitude journal. When your feet hit the floor, you're already expecting a great day. As you go to the restroom, the bathroom, do what you have to do. Look in the mirror. Begin to see and feel that things are different. If you're going off to work or outside of the house, work that energetically through too. Expect smoothness. Expect smoothness. As we drive our cars, we can expect harmony, which brings lack of accidents, which brings lack, meaning we don't experience it. People cutting us off on the freeway, people yelling at us. We are energetically changing the way that we are. When you get to the office, you've already done your work the night before and in the morning, that it's going to go smooth. Doesn't matter if Bob is yelling in his office again. It doesn't affect you. Eventually, you'll see that Bob, or even immediately, you'll see that Bob stops yelling in his office. So do you see, it's not just the morning, it's the night too. You have this major capacity to shift and change your experience, your life. So does it stop there? We're going to add something else in as you go. Now, remember, you can do one at a time, and then one, like mornings this week, and then add evenings the next week if it seems too much. So you've already built a foundation of creation. Are you stopping the mornings when you do your evening work? No. It's just like breathing. It becomes who you are. Don't think of this work as, oh my God, I have all these things to do. How am I ever going to get them done? I've never been able to do it. You're telling yourself, you're programming yourself that you're unable, right, to live a functioning life, to live completeness and joy. Who took that right from you? You deserve to have harmony and peace and joy and love in everything that you desire. You are a spiritual being in a beautiful human body on this earth. We chose to incarnate. We also chose to incarnate in this time. And why is there so much chaos? Because we're all warriors here to change planet Earth, the way we see things. Why not begin with our life? If you begin to see things in a bigger perspective than just this little thing, like either those who are sick at home, just focus on that. I just became cancer-free, so I understand the journey of illness. I've had years of chronic illness and healed that. Why do I keep getting stuff to heal? Because obviously there's something else for me to learn. Will I ever be done? I'm not sure, but I most certainly know that in this journey, I'm not giving up. It's fun. I've learned to create greatness in my life out of adversity. I was born into a life of adversity. I'd say one of the only amazing things that I was gifted in life was that I was raised metaphysical. That is absolutely who I am down to my core. That's one reason why I have such a powerful stance for right over wrong. But really, everybody, the truth is we all have this ability. We all are connected to God. We all are the reflection, the divine creation. So it's not just me. It's not just other people. It's you too. You have this within yourself. Do you want it? Ask for it. Talk to the universe, talk to God, creator, source, spirit, life force, prana, whatever you call the energetic force. Be with that. Have that live and abide within your body. Have it be who you are in your consciousness, in your awareness. So, do we stop at the morning and the night? No, we don't. A really beautiful way to learn mindfulness, continuity in your thinking, congruency, is to set your alarm 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. And when your alarm goes off, stop and review what you've been thinking. Review what you've been thinking. How powerful is that? Have I been negative? Have I been showing myself love? Is somebody irritating me? Am I out of alignment again? Or am I feeling powerful? Am I doing the work? Am I joyous? These are your abilities to create your foundation. And I want to bring it back to the forefront again. What does this have to do with you? Everything. You deserve to have a life of creation, abundance, magic. You deserve to be in love with your life and have your life love you back. Is it always perfect? No, we're human. We're here to learn. I'd like to say my life is a lot more perfect than it was because of the work. When cancer came the first time, I've had a reoccurrence recently. When cancer came in 2020, I was going to go the medical route. At the very last minute, right before surgery, I said no, and I healed it. I mean, within a matter of, I was in stage 3 to 4, going into 4, it was spreading. This is like the end of life. It healed within 4 months. I became cancer-free. There were still tumors in me, but they were dormant. That was very exciting, very beautiful. 2021 rolled around and it was a shit show for me. Me, somebody who does the work all the time. Yeah, it's because I do the work. I'm just like you. I do my work though. Life still comes up and I do my work. We're in the pandemic. My family moved in. There were suicidal sons. There was so much going on. I was out of a relationship. I was despondent, upset. I wasn't really focusing on me. And early 2022, the cancer came back. But I didn't give up and I wasn't going to. I did my spiritual work and I did this time medical. And within a couple months, I had to stop chemo. It was killing me literally. But what we found was the tumors were gone. They dissolved, they disappeared. I'm cancer-free. They wanted me to do another 3 rounds of chemo, and I couldn't. I knew I was going to die if I did that. So I stood up for myself and I said, no, I want an MRI. I want to see where we stand. It's amazing because some of my girlfriends, especially I have one that's a therapist that she and I have been besties since 2010. And she said to me, what do the doctors say when you talk to them like that? And I say, they listen because they understand that I'm focused on being my own advocate, that I'm focused on my own healthcare, that I actually care about what happens to me. And because I care, I was given the option, because I stood up for myself and I spoke, which I've discovered most people do not when we're ill. And that saddens my heart because we're not being our own advocate. So I was given the choice, or I told them I was concerned about my heart. There's 2 different types of chemo. One creates heart issues as a side effect and one does not. The one that does not is more severe, but I went on that because I didn't want to also have to worry about my heart because I care about myself. So wonderful that the cancer's gone. Is my journey over? No. Am I still doing foundational work? Oh, yes, I am. There were a couple months there during chemo where I could hardly, all I did was just sit in my chair trying to go through life to get through the chemo so that I could get strong again, so that I could do the next step. But I still did the spiritual work. I still did question my body when I was able to. I tried to look at my hopes and dreams. I kept my awareness as happy as I could. Sometimes it was watching funny shows just because I needed that. You got to do what you got to do when you're at your worst to get up to being able to be at your best. So this is why we lay our foundation so strong that we don't forget who we are, that we can come back and pick ourselves up. It's okay, honey. I've got this. We've got this, and move forward. When I spoke to you about being like a professional athlete or a singer, a ballerina, well, I guess I said a drummer. The point about that is the focus, the intention, the love of becoming that is what drove those people to do what they did. Drives anyone to create above where they're told they can't. So do your foundation work. Do your spiritual work. Do everything you want. Write it out, journal it out. How do you want your life to look? The Dream, Believe, Create process. If you are not in the Greatest You Revolution group on Facebook, if you don't have Facebook, then write me back on the email and we will get you information about that. It's in the book that I sent out to you guys a couple months ago, the Mirror Mirror book, A Life That Loves You Back. You've got to do the Dream, Believe, Create to see where you are and where you want to be. We don't know what we don't know until we know it. And how are we going to know what we want if we don't examine things and look at them? Most people are too afraid. I can literally tell you there's probably 90% of the population that's completely unconscious. We talk about a conscious explosion, an awakening of humanity. There's so much fighting going on between the government parties, the world parties, and everything. Who is focusing on themselves? Who is focusing on humanity? Who is focusing on creating greatness instead of chaos, anxiety for people, despair? We're in a pretty hard situation right now. And if you look at it differently and you get on top of your thoughts and your fears, it's going to be a different life. I understand with great gratitude that my life is different than others, but I wasn't gifted this in the sense that I was born into it on a platter with everything right there. I was born into dysfunction, abuse, a mentally ill mother. I was very withdrawn. I'm not the type of woman I am today. I'm an introvert, but I guess I'm extroverted when I can support people because it's an amazing discovery, more or less, of how life can change. So I'm profoundly supportive of everybody making any change that you need. So the foundation has to be laid. We forget when we stop. We get sick and we're like, wait, I forgot where I was last week or the week before or last year. You know how to get back on. This is why I said you've got this amazing brain. Even if you're lying in bed, you can change the way you think. I would wake up in the middle of the night, or actually during chemo, I couldn't sleep very much at all, like 5 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe an hour, and that's it. I would do the metaphysical prayers, the thoughts, the scientific statement of being, anything that I did when I was little, I would bring it up and I would repeat it. And it would bring me great comfort and it would realign me. It would change my thought process and it would bring me back to center. And here I was supposedly dying of cancer. So we can do whatever we want to do, whatever our heart desires, whatever our awareness desires, whatever we feel is best for us to grow and to live that type of life. Okay, so let's move into the reading. Were there any questions before we do? Okay. I'm going to start at the top of my screen here. Well, first I'm going to do a reading for the day. How's that? I decided with Lori that I wanted to do an inspirational talk and readings on Monday to set everybody up for a great week. We chose to call it Magnificent Mondays. So I want you to understand that we're here to support all the time. We have not decided to give this up. So this is a new thing that we're doing. This is our second week. We also give talks on Tuesdays that are free from the Academy, interpersonal development work. It's about your emotions, guys. It sounds so out there, It's about the pain you feel. It's about your early childhood. It's about your adulthood. It's about any trauma. It's about your limiting beliefs, because you're not limited at all. Okay. Oh, interesting. So today's reading overall is Isola, Undying Love, the love you have shared eternal regardless of the situation. You know what's so perfect about this? This is what we're talking about, our soul's journey here on earth. It doesn't matter what you're doing right now. What matters is you can shift and change your awareness. When you go within yourself to your higher self, which is your divinity. Remember, it doesn't matter what the name is. Buddha, prana, life force, creator, source, spirit, God, universe. It doesn't matter. You know the power. This is why everyone can be supportive, because even those that are atheists and don't believe in God believe in themselves and a higher space within. So go to what's powerful about you. Okay, the next one is Guardian, Artemis. You and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. Irene, peace. There's no need to worry as everything is working out beautifully. So I want to show you this, the undying love. So the soul, and then the Artemis, the guardian, the protector of you. Think of Artemis today as your advocate. You are your own advocate. Be Artemis. Start to even just say quietly and touch yourself, because we're doing a tactile so that it will start to build the synapses. I love myself. If you can't stand in front of a mirror saying, I love you, and sometimes just saying, I love myself and feeling the vibration is deeper than at first than I love you, because a lot of people don't believe that they love themselves. They may say, oh yeah, I do. But when you do the work, it will come out negatively for the most part, unless you've done work. And then the peace part. So this is really beautiful. Okay. We're going to go with MC up there, and I'm going to shuffle the cards and pull. And I close my eyes and I feel and pull with the energy. Okay. It gets cold in my room, so my office. So I have to blow on my hands. Okay. Oh, I love this. Ooh, this is great for you. Ishtar, boundaries. Love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. Hathar, receptivity. Allow yourself to renew. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give to others. I love Hathar with receptivity, because this is one of the foundational pieces that we need to learn for self-love, is to receive it. Nematoma, sacred space. Create an altar and visit a powerful place to connect with the divine. Now remember, we don't have to be at some temple someplace. We are a temple. Our awareness within our consciousness and our mind can be that sacred place as well. So these are really beautiful, loving spaces for healing too. The boundaries. You know when and where you can extend out to. Everything needs to be about you and your growth and your healing. And so be aware of that. Focus on that. The receptivity, Hathar. Allow to receive. Allow yourself the love to receive. And Nematoma, the sacred space. Create that. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm glad you're here. Okay, so the next one is Sandy. Wonderful. This is great. Okay. So the first card is Ain, Leap of Faith. Take the risk and put your heart's desire into true action. The second one is Astera, Fertility. It is a perfect time for you to start a new project, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. The thing I love about Astera and fertility is it's not about having a baby. It's about the creation within ourselves to allow ourselves to be more than we have before. Damara, guiding children. You are good at helping, counseling, and healing the situation. Use this skill to help children now. Most of the time, this one is for our inner child and healing. So we have work here to do and love. There's something here for you, Sandy, that wants you to trust and to take the leap of faith. And it's interesting that it's with the fertility card, the creation card. So you're about to move into something. So be wise about that and trust. And then we have the guiding children. So that would be aware of your inner space unless you specifically work with children. Okay, the next one is Amber. Let's get Amber. Let's get your cards going here. Cheryl, we're doing the readings now, and I'll do yours as you pop up on the screen. We've already done the talk for the day, so if you want to listen to that, go back and listen to that in the group. We're also sending it out today in an email. Okay, Amber. Okay. Interesting. I move the cards in 3 separate spaces so they're not all together. I shuffle them and then I feel and pull from the energy of my hand. Yes, I'll be sending this out, Cheryl, the reading. So we picked again, Amber, for you, fertility. And we picked the undying love. And also go outside, Cordelia. So what this tells me, and I know that you're an outside girl, that what this tells me is what you're experiencing right now, and I also know you, but what you're experiencing right now is the opportunity to love deeper. There's something coming up in your situation where you can love deeper by being patient or whatever, you know what it is, you can go there. And I'm not sure if this is a work creation or relationship creation, but it's a creation. And with this card, it might be. And you love being outdoors. This is also outside of yourself. How, and this is what I'm hearing right now, how outside of yourself, open, nurturing, giving to others have you been? Is your, are you closed off right now? Is something going on where you're closed off? Do you need to reopen? Okay, that's for you, Amber. Okay. And now we're going to do Alexandra. Looks like it's still trying to connect. I'm glad you like it, Amber. You put the look and go outside. Okay, good. That's the only way to do it in the winter. It's too cold. So let's see, Alexandra. Here we go. Ooh, this is incredibly powerful. Alexandra, I don't know if you can hear me because it looks like it's still connecting to the audio. But everyone, take the energy of this card, this drawing for yourself as well. It's very, very powerful. Isis, past life connections. The situation may involve a past life experience. Look, you guys are souls, you're dealing with stuff, you have feelings that are unattended to. Be aware of what they are. Ixchel, medicine woman. Yeah. You are a channel of the divine healing power. And this can also be medicine man. Diana, focused intention. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and action focused on your target, and you will make your mark. Isn't that what we're talking about today? About our soul, who we are, about the strength and the healing of what we can do for our body, mind, and spirit, and literally staying focused and retraining ourselves for our foundation. So this is for Alexandra, but she's not connected here. It keeps cycling since she's been on for 42 minutes. So I also think that this is for everyone on the call and in the room. I know we did a drawing earlier, but this is also for all of you too. Take it. I'm gifting it to you. Okay, now we're going to go with Cheryl. And also most readings, if it gets really, really crazy on the lines, will only be a 1-card draw. But since we have a little bit of time here, we're doing 3, the regular type of readings, except for when I do a reading, it's generally, hello there, Cheryl. So it's generally about your date, a little bit of your astrology, about you and the cards, and then I go through it on a channeled message. So what we're doing here is pulling a draw and then seeing what comes through me, even though it's not a super duper big reading. It's still powerful and it's still yours. Okay. Ooh, this is beautiful. Oh my gosh. You are going to love this. Okay. So Aphrodite, inner goddess, awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, appreciation, and divinity, which is about sort of what we've been talking about here today. But you also drew from your energy, Athena, inner wisdom. You know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom and take the appropriate action without delay. So these two are very powerful within themselves, right? One, they are both goddess cards, meaning total goddessy spiritual, but the strength within, bringing you back to center of your own goddessness, your own wisdom, is really powerful. And then we're adding on Artemis, the guardian. You and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. When we bring Artemis in, the guardian, the warrior, the watcher, the supporter, the nurturer, everything can come from within the guardian. And so when we bring it into the inner goddess, you can stand strongly in your power. Literally, this is who you are. So I suggest that from here, write those down. And maybe this week, if you've got the Goddess Oracle cards, you might want to pull those 3 out and read about them and nurture that space within yourself. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. This was really great. I have to run, get ready for another call.
Can I ask
And
you a question?
yes,
Oh, can I? I'm just getting ready to, I mean, the Guardian part is very interesting because I am getting ready to go out. I live in Florida. I'm getting ready to go to California. My brother's been gravely ill for the last 3 weeks. And I've been back and forth on phone and text and whatever with doctors, with his kids, etc. And I am, in a position to make a real difference and help what's going on there because I also cared for my parents when they were elderly. My sister, before she died from cancer 22 years ago. So the cards you pulled, are some of those related to, well, maybe you can tell me
you need to
what I
stay
just told you.
focused. Yes, it's coming through. You need to stay focused. It's a reminder to stay focused on yourself. Your love and nurturing is not about giving it over to somebody else. You may be caring for them, you may be really good at it, and that's beautiful. That is a gift. But the other gift, the most important gift is, and as caregivers, I used to be a nurse. So as caregivers, we forget about ourselves. So this is a good reminder for you to do your morning practice. Do listen to today's recording because it is about how to set your foundations and the reminder. This is perfectly meant for you as well, honey, with what you have coming up. And it's a journey that you're going to be on.
Right.
And do it only with pure love. He's your brother, which means you don't neglect yourself. You don't neglect yourself. And in your awarenesses that you gain, share these with your brother. Help to change his mental state while you're with him.
Okay.
Because he needs to be up leveled. Everybody who is in a space where they're not focusing on their own greatness, right, needs to be reminded of their love, of anything spiritual that elevates their consciousness. You know your brother, so you'll know how to do that. If you need support, write me, send me an email or write back on this one later on and just say, what are some things? Like, I suggest you're reading books to him, spiritual books.
I was just thinking of that last night.
Conversations with God and
God, right. Wayne Dyer book. Right.
are two powerful ones.
Right.
And when I used to work with clients, or they were patients at the time when I was in a facility, I read metaphysical books to them. They were in a metaphysical facility. And so it was very important, chapters, verses, anything to uplift
Right.
the consciousness and the awareness and out of the dream state of going downhill, right?
Right.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah,
You're
I've
welcome.
already had some of those conversations with his kids, with his adult children, and
Right.
And even just not rushing out there this weekend, even though I wanted to see him, I also needed to take care of myself. I knew I needed a little more time before I went, to just not be rushing and panicking, and I was exhausted. I couldn't even pack. I was too tired. But I'm taking.
Where in Miami do you live?
Oh,
I'm
actually,
sorry, where in Florida do you live?
Hallandale Beach, just north of Miami, but just
because I also live in Miami, besides
on
an island in Washington State, and I'm going to Miami on the 5th for a month to
in
be
December.
with my husband. Yeah, and then I'll be back. I go back and forth.
Oh,
So.
great. Okay. Well, I'm glad I logged on today. This is important. Yeah.
It's very important, honey. And so ask questions and all of that. Okay. I'm going to turn off the recorder, the stop